Welcome! So, did you know that nearly 20% of travelers have accidentally double-booked a trip or just totally forgotten to cancel a reservation in time? It literally happens to the best of us. And honestly, navigating hotel cancellation policies can feel a bit like diffusing a very expensive ticking time bomb. Because Marriott is such a massive global chain, knowing how to manage your reservations with them online is an absolutely crucial skill. So in this explainer, we're going to demystify Marriott's cancellation process using their official guidelines alongside some great insights from travel experts. We'll make sure you can seamlessly cancel a booking without losing your hard-earned money or your points.
Here's the agenda for today's explainer. We're covering the cost of canceling, a step-by-step online cancellation walkthrough, how to troubleshoot those missing cancel buttons, pro tips on points and fees, and finally, our final checks and disclaimers.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the cost of canceling, where we'll navigate the financial stakes.
To kick things off, we have to look at this incredibly common question. This was sourced directly from a pretty confused Reddit user who asked, cancel within 24 hours of booking or get a fee? Now, there's this widespread assumption out there that if you cancel any reservation within 24 hours of making it, you automatically get a free pass. But in the world of hotel bookings, that is a very dangerous assumption to make.
To put that into perspective, just look at this number, $601.09. According to a breakdown by upgraded points, this was the required prepayment for a specific member advance purchase rate. Now, the booking page kind of made it seem like it was cancelable, but the fine print clearly stated that the prepayment, which was the entire $601.09 cost of the stay, was totally non-refundable. If you misread the rate rules, you could literally be out hundreds of dollars in an instant.
It's super easy to empathize with this Reddit user, Kimmy_onpoll, who posted, "Am I crazy? I canceled within 24 hours and apparently I can't get a refund." It's a tough lesson, but the harsh reality they discovered is that advanced purchase rates are entirely non-refundable from the exact second you click book. There is no 24-hour grace period to change your mind. None.
Now, for standard flexible rates, the rules are definitely different, but they're still strict. Back in 2017, Marriott implemented a major policy shift. Today, most standard cancellations require 48 to 72 hours, so that's 2 to 3 days of notice before your scheduled check-in. If you happen to cancel after that deadline, the penalty is typically a cash fee equivalent to one night's room rate plus taxes.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, Step-by-Step Online Cancellation, our digital walkthrough. So the crucial part here is knowing exactly where to click. If you're an authenticated Marriott Bonvoy member, the desktop website process is actually delightfully simple. It's just 4 clicks. First, you sign in to Marriott.com. Second, click on My Trips right at the top of the page. Third, locate the reservation you want to drop and click View/Modify. And finally, select Cancel Reservation and hit Yes to confirm. That's it. But what if you booked as a guest without signing into an account? Well, non-members have a slightly different pathway. Instead of getting that nice My Trips dashboard, you have to navigate to the Look Up a Reservation tool on the website. To pull up your booking, you'll need to manually input 4 exact pieces of information: your confirmation number, your check-in date, and your first and last name typed exactly as they were entered when you made the reservation.
If you're more of a smartphone person, the mobile app cancellation process is equally streamlined. Just open the Bonvoy app, tap the little Trips suitcase icon on the bottom, select your specific reservation, and tap Cancel Reservation. And a quick heads up for non-members, you can actually still use the app for this. Just tap Continue as Guest, select Have an Existing Reservation, and pop in those same manual details we just talked about.
Let's get into Section 3, troubleshooting missing cancel buttons and solving those common errors. Okay, so what happens when you follow all the steps, you log in, you find your trip, and the cancel button has completely vanished? Seriously, don't panic. The centralized reservation system will actually hide the cancel button under 4 very specific conditions. First, you might just be past the hotel's cancellation deadline. Second, if you book through a third-party site like Expedia or Booking.com, you literally have to go back to them to cancel. Third, if you're in a group housing block, the reservation is locked and you have to contact the group organizer. And finally, if you have a confirmed nightly upgrade award attached to the room, standard digital modifications are just blocked. For a lot of these scenarios, a direct phone call to Marriott customer service is going to be your only path forward.
There are also 2 other critical edge cases that consistently trip people up. If you booked multiple rooms under a single reservation, the mobile app actually cannot handle canceling just one of them. You have to use a desktop web browser to select Cancel Room next to the specific one you want to drop.
Also, if you booked a property through Homes and Villas by Marriott Bonvoy, it won't even show up in your Bonvoy app. Those use a completely separate offline process, and you'll need to look up the reservation on the dedicated Homes and Villas website.
Section 4, Pro Tips on Points and Fees. Let's talk about protecting your rewards.
It is so vital to understand the contrast between cash and points cancellations. If you cancel a points booking within the allowed window, your points are usually redeposited immediately. Though just keep in mind it can technically take up to 10 days. But here is the massive trap you need to watch out for. If you fail to cancel a points booking on time, or if you just completely no-show, you don't just forfeit the points. The hotel will actually charge a late cancellation cash fee, which is often the best available cash rate for that night, directly to the credit card you use to guarantee the room. Let's also look at Nightly Upgrade Awards, or NUAs. These are highly coveted perks that give you a confirmable upgrade to a premium room or suite. Now, the strict rule here is that if your NUA request is still pending, you can easily just cancel the request online. However, if the NUA has already been confirmed by the hotel, you can't simply modify the booking to get it back. You have to cancel the entire reservation before 2 p.m. local hotel time the day before arrival to get that award credited back to your account.
Sourcing some really fantastic insider tips from the Points Guy, we can see just how easy it is to make a costly mistake. For instance, Marriott offers a great Stay for 5, Pay for 4 perk on points bookings. But if you decide to modify and shorten a 5-night award stay down to 4 nights, you will completely lose that free night benefit. Poof, gone. Also, remember that even on award stays where your room is totally covered by points, you might still be on the hook for pesky cash resort fees depending on the specific property. Honestly, always read the fine print.
And we are finally entering Section 5, Final Checks and Disclaimers. Let's secure that cancellation.
Because of all these wildly varying penalties, you absolutely must check the specific rate rules before you book, and then double-check them again before you cancel. As a final reminder, a standard member rate usually offers some flexibility. But advance purchase, that usually means 0 refunds, regardless of whether you cancel 3 months in advance or 3 hours in advance. Knowing which one you hold dictates all of your next steps.
When you do successfully cancel, the system is going to generate a cancellation number on your screen. Write it down, screenshot it, save it, just don't lose it. Furthermore, a centralized automated email will be dispatched to your inbox. Definitely check your spam folder if you don't see it right away. That email and that specific number are your absolute proof of cancellation if a billing dispute happens to pop up later. Never just close the browser and assume all is well.
Now, before we wrap up, just a quick but super important note. This explainer is strictly for informational purposes. The travel industry is highly dynamic, and hotel policies and procedures definitely change over time, sometimes varying wildly by the specific property or region. We strongly encourage you to verify the current policies directly with Marriott, or check your specific confirmation email to ensure you have the absolute most up-to-date facts for your trip.
Which brings us to our final thought. Given everything we've just covered, from those non-refundable traps to vanishing cancel buttons and surprise cash penalties on point stays, you kind of have to ask yourself a strategic question for your next vacation. Is the peace of mind of a flexible rate worth the slightly higher upfront cost? When you weigh the severe risks of non-refundable rates against the general unpredictability of life, sometimes paying a little extra for flexibility is literally the smartest investment you can make. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and safe travels.